Hey everybody, BeyondDrewTV here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Thorton Zoo, our franchise mode zoo in the Planet Zoo beta. And today we are starting on our new section here, which is going to be our kind of North American, I guess Northern Canada, technically with the animals that we're putting in section there. So yeah, we've been really excited, excuse me, to get this area going. And yeah, as you can see here, we are wasting no time in getting the exhibit ready to go here. And yeah, it's going to be a grizzly bear exhibit. You probably could tell from the thumbnail, I'm sure. But yeah, it's going to be a grizzly bear exhibit. And the main inspiration for this habitat here is I just wanted it to look I'm trying to remember. It's from the Detroit Zoo, and I remember at the Brookfield Zoo they have these kind of exhibits where it's basically just like you see a path here that just kind of goes straight down a roadway like this, and then on the on one side you have just like a little opening area. And that's kind of been a big theme if you've been following this series here is I'm trying to make things look kind of realistic and like an actual zoo does. And yeah, basically they just have these this row of habitats that are broken up into like 20-meter sections or so, and there's usually like 3 or 4 animals and like 3 or 4 bays. So you have like here this habitat would be one, and then there'd be another 20-meter section next to it with another habitat with like another animal in it, and then maybe another one. So, and the idea is that that area is not the entire area that the animal would hang out in all the time. It's just an enrichment kind of area. And I've talked about that before with like our lemurs and our savanna animals and just a whole bunch of different animals. The areas that guests see at zoos are typically not where the animals are going to stay all the time. From what I've noticed a lot. So yeah, so that's kind of the idea there. And I harp on that, and we'll get back to that because I forgot I was super ADHD with this build, and we're already starting the entrance sign. Even though I first started on the habitat. So we'll get back to why I was harping on the 20 meters and it looking small and the realism behind it. But anyways, we're working on the sign here, and as you can see, we are naming this area Grizzly Peak. And yeah, that's again because we are putting in some heckin' grizzly bear. I forgot. It was bears, multiple, but because our habitat, excuse me, is on the smaller end to put more realism into the into our build here, I wasn't able to swing the welfare enough to have 2 bears. So I did originally buy a male and a female with the intention that they would be fine. But it just didn't work out. Their welfare was being pushed too much. We were getting protesters all the time. Well, I'm still getting protesters, but that's besides the point. But it was just really bad. They really didn't have enough space at all, and I couldn't get it to really work. So unfortunately, we had to quick sell our female, but I bought it for cash on the market. It seems as though Frontier in these last few days, I've seen it both ways. I must have been lucky or something, or maybe people aren't refreshing the page enough. But when you're on the market, Frontier will every once in a while automatically, I think it's some sort of algorithm that looks at animals that are, certain animals that are on the market at the time, and then it'll throw animals that you can buy on there for cash. And I was able to buy a female grizzly that was really good. It was like a 3 or 4 year old grizzly with like great genes. It was like $1,000. I was like, oh word, okay, I'll take that. So but yeah, and I've seen other people kind of mention how there's never any animals on there. I think if you just refresh the page, and what I do is I put the price on there, and I just put show cash listings only kind of thing. So maybe do it like that, and that'll help you out there. So but yeah, for our entranceway here, the inspiration is really, if you can't really tell, it's just typical North American. I really wanted to get I'm into transitions a lot. If you watch my Planet Coaster series, you know that I'm all about kind of hiding and then revealing, for transitions. So on one side of the entranceway, because as you can see, it kind of goes around this Grizzly Peak sign. We have a tunnel on one side because I always associate, I'm an American if you couldn't tell, that the right side, of an area is an entranceway typically. It seems like guest flow naturally goes to the right side. So the right side has a little cave system, and that's just to, again, reinforce, this kind of North American, Northern Canadian, rugged wilderness kind of feel to it. And then, the left side I kind of left blank, more wooded, because that's usually, the exit way. So I don't know, that's just that was my rationale behind it. But I love the way the foliage and rock work kind of came together with all of this to you know, make that little entranceway, and I think it turned out really, really well there. So, and now here we are jumping back into the actual habitat. Again, ADHD build today. I was all over the place. So, but yeah, as we're doing this, this was modeled again after the Detroit Zoo. I don't know if they've amped it up since then, but it was definitely a picture from like the mid 80s or late 80s, definitely. And yeah, I just really wanted to have this kind of rectangular square habitat. I kind of took some creative liberty with what you're seeing here, because again, this would be their enrichment area. They would let, you know, the grizzlies out here when they were maybe awake and wanting to have them on, maybe just on display for the guests. I've been reading a lot of stuff that, you know, enrichment items that we see for animals, you know, as far as how their area looks and stuff like that. A lot of animals could kind of give a rip about it, and a lot of the aesthetics are for guests there. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I've been reading a lot of zookeeper comments on like John T. Geekism's videos and stuff like that, and some really, really interesting insight. I love hearing that. If there are any zookeepers or caretaker, whatever you know, caretakers that are watching this video and you have any insights, I'd love to hear them. I love that kind of stuff, and especially, you know, wanting to build more on the realistic side, I definitely want to know all that stuff. So, but yeah, again, the habitat here is a little bit small for the game, but I wanted to keep it. I expanded out a little bit. You'll see here in just a minute, and yeah, it kind of works out, but it's still not quite enough room. And unfortunately, I don't want to expand it out into this ginormous area, because I do have a very exact kind of thing in mind here of what I wanted. There you go. I expanded out another 20 meters, so it gets their the welfare up a little bit more. But you know, I had this exact thing in mind that I want it to be, and I'm not going to sacrifice it just to get the welfare all the way up, because again, you know, a lot of us have talked about it. Again, mainly myself and Jonty and like Mass Bandit, but you know, not all zoos are these glorious. We can make them, you know, huge habitats that are going to meet every single need kind of thing. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Usually they're city-run zoos who are relying on tax money and stuff like that. But you know, it is a reality of the real world, and I like to build in the real world. So, and you know, hopefully you're viewing this because you kind of also like that kind of realistic aesthetic there. So, yeah. But don't get used to where this is, by the way. I just wanted to mention that because I have already recorded a few episodes ahead. This does move because I kind of realized that I named this area Grizzly Peak, but you kind of walk in and the grizzly is like on your left-hand side, and it's not really the main focus, because we are going to add in some more animals in this area. Probably just one more main one, and I'll try and fit in maybe an exhibit area or something like that. But the other main one is going to be timber wolves, and the way I had this laid out is that the timber wolves were going to look like the main attraction. So I kind of rearrange everything, and this area is going to go over a huge revamp, and it turns into one of my favorite areas. So if you're not already, be sure to subscribe. Haha. Look at that little plug. So you can stay up to date with the next episode, because the next episode we're going to turn this into a town, and it turns into like a again, like a Northern Canadian kind of cool portside town. It was one of my favorite builds I've done in Planet Zoo. So definitely subscribe so you can stay up to date when that video comes out. Also give the video a like there if you liked how the habitat is turning out so far, if you're into that realistic aesthetic of building and all that fun stuff, if you like how the Grizzly Peak sign turned out. And yeah, that's going to pretty much wrap up the video for today there, folks. So hey, thanks so much as always for viewing. I always appreciate it. And yeah, until the I guess we'll call it the part 2 there of Grizzly Peak. Yeah, stay wild. Yes, that's 2 videos in a row I did stay wild. Man, I'm on a roll. See y'all.